mean, a win is a win, right?
Oh yeah.
That's what matters. I mean, probably not exactly the way you wanted to go, but give us the feel right now.
You know, because of the change of opponents, I had to kind of adapt my style and look where the biggest advantage was in the fight, and I believe it was on the ground. You know, he has a kickboxing background, he's fought in Glory, etc., etc. So I believed I had a big advantage on the ground. I wanted to feel him out in the first round and sort of draw him into a bit of a wrestling match. And then somewhere in the first or second, I broke my knuckle or my top of my hand, so I couldn't let my hands go as much as I wanted, so I just had to keep on wrestling, you know.
Interesting. So I was going to ask, and obviously we wouldn't expect you to wrestle that much, but so a little bit planned, a little bit had to change on the fly.
I mean, the plan was always to go into the first round and grind him a bit and get him tired, because he did take the fight on short notice, so I was trying to drain him out a bit and then let my hands go from the second, but I could feel there was something wrong, and I believed I could get the fight to the ground and finish him.
You're the first one to fight out there. Give us an idea. What is the feeling out there, the heat, the humidity? I mean, is it going to be impacting people tonight?
Man, let me tell you, that was the first thing I said to my corner. I was this place is so hot. I couldn't breathe properly. It was, you know, I come from altitude, so I believed I would have great cardio out here, which I felt it did. But the heat really sapped my energy really quick. So I just had to like bite down and keep going, you know.
Well, like I said, you got the win.
Hell yeah.
What's next? I mean, it sounds like you may have to heal up a little bit. But
yeah, I'm gonna go home and see what happens with this. Get my doctor to check it out, and then we'll speak to my management team and we'll go from there.
Seeing the takedown was hard to get than you thought. Once he split, bigger problem than you thought?
Yeah, really was. I mean, I knew he was 6'1", I'm 6 foot, so I figured I needed to only pick him up a couple inches, you know, and put him on his back. But he was a lot taller. He felt a lot taller than 6'1", so you know, his length really did play a difference.
Besides that, was there anything else that surprised you?
He was strong. He was a strong guy, you know. I mean, he's 22 years old, so I'd expect him to be strong. So, yeah, I mean, man, in this game you have to adapt. You can't just go in and think that your game plan is going to go the way it works, the way it is. But I just had to adapt in the fight, and you know, the end result's the end result.
It was about 2 weeks that you had noticed. What was your first reaction when you heard that Madge was for this fight?
Yeah, I think it was 17 days or something, but you know, at first I was really upset because I thought that was going to be a great fight. I thought we'd have a really good fight. We'd probably put on fight of the night or get a bonus each. This is the sport. We have to adapt, you know. There's nothing we can do about it. If it happens in the next fight, I have to do the same thing and adapt and just look at the opponents and go from there.
Is he someone that maybe you'd still like to fight maybe later down the line?
Sure, of course. You know, there's a bunch of guys that I like to fight, you know. But again, it's not up to me, it's up to the UFC and my management team, depending on what we want to do next.
And Cyborg was able to hit not too long ago. What was it like having her there training?
It was awesome to have someone like Cyborg just in South Africa. You know, we don't get many superstars in South Africa. You know, it's quite a far place. So it was amazing to have her there and for her to share her knowledge and for her to see what kind of talent we have in South Africa. You know, we got my friend JP Bass, who's right there on the cuff of getting signed to the UFC, and when he gets in here, he's going to shake up the bantamweight division for sure.
What was it like being, you know, one of the only people from South Africa in the UFC? What was it like to be able to wave the flag here in Abu Dhabi?
It means everything to me. You know, my country, we're going through some hard times at the moment. We're going through a few tough times, and my message was to say, you know, we're South Africans. Let's pull together and let's stop killing each other. Let's band together and let's bring the country up rather than bring it down.
You see UFC maybe, obviously, you know, there's a lot of African champions now, a lot of talent from Africa. Do you see the UFC going to Africa?
I really hope it does. You know, like you said, we've got a bunch of guys with African heritage, and you know, if we bring it to Africa, I'd love it for it to be in Cape Town, my hometown. Not really. You know, I used to live in Thailand, so I've fought a bunch of times. I think because it's MMA, you know, and wrestling and the heat and the grind, it does get to you, and especially after weight cuts and stuff like that. You know, trying to keep hydrated in this heat is really tough. So, like I said, you have to adapt and evolve, you know.
First South African to go 2-0 in the UFC, born and raised fighting out of South Africa. What do you attribute that to, and what do you have for the youngsters in South Africa and South Africa?
Hey, you know, I'm part of the new generation. My coach Richie Kwan, you know, he's he's the man. You know, we got a team of killers at Coach Kwan University, and all we need is that little bit of attention and a little bit of opportunity to get into the bigger shows and get some eyes on us, and that's all we need. We got killers in South Africa.
What would you like to get back in there?
It all depends on what's going on with my hand, but you know, hopefully early next year, maybe the first, second card of next year, but as soon as possible.